West side, compo, let's this him. This him, compo, let's compo, let's west side, compo, let's west side, compo, let's west side, compo, let's S-U-R-E-N-O, compo, S-U-R-E-N-O. If don't know now, you know K-A-M-P-O-L-E-R-O. Compo, S-U-R-E-N-O. Tonight is definitely a late night. Compo, let's compo, let's compo, let's compo, let's compo, let's compo, let's
Radio! Tonight is definitely a late night. What's up, homies? I'm driving home from work. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to everybody. Everybody's watching. Shout out to the trolls. Shout out to all you. Anyways, it's Friday. Happy Friday. We're gonna party. Fuck it. Why not? It's time. Got my boy right here next to me. His birthday is tomorrow. Whoop whoop. He's gonna be real old and shit. And his name is Beep. And his other name is Bleep. Anyways, it's a Friday shout out. See what's up. Oh, I got a story. So, trip on this. So I hit high desert, right? And when I hit high desert, and there's a lot of shit going on there. But one story that sticks out the most, that stands out the most, is about the boy Andy from Cudahy. I don't know where he's at or whatever happened to him, like to this day. But I do know this, that he was a good ass dude. He had like, everybody liked this guy, right? And cool people. He was doing like a 90-day violation or something, and he was just happened to be in high desert. He didn't fucking fuck with anybody. He didn't make anybody. He didn't piss someone off. Just a good motherfucker. Just a good dude, good homie, good camarada, everything, and just peaceful and quiet. So I used to go out and see him every day, like, cause I see him out there doing bar work. We used to do our bar work together and shit, you know, out there just when we weren't on lockdown. And so I go out there and see what's up, whatever. I wasn't big on basketball, handball, or anything like that. I liked just doing ball work and working out back then. So one day he comes to yard and he's all stressed out. And I'm like, and he's going home in like 2 weeks at the time. I'm like, what the fuck you so stressed out for? You all right? And he's like, oh man, you know, I just like, fuck, you know what I mean? Just nothing, because he's not a shit talker. He don't be like talking shit. He don't be like disrespecting people. He's a real good dude, you know. Anyways, but it was unlike him to act the way he was acting. So I told him what's the matter. And he said, well, there's this, you know, the new Llavero, the dude, you know, with the keys to the yard. Got a new one that just got there. And his name, I'm not gonna say his neighborhood. His neighborhood knows who he is because it's a one-of-a-kind name. His name is Wevel. Okay, Wevel from Whoop-de-Whoop-de-Whoop-de-Whoop, right? So I met him, and he did have a little bit of a power control or power complex, you know what I mean? He did act like that. He did like, I don't know, he's kind of a bully, you know what I mean? In his own right, you know what I mean? No bullies can only bully people who let them bully them, but still, he just had that swag about him, you know? But what ended up happening was, he ended up in Andy's cell. Well, when he got there, he told him, like, first thing he said is, hey, Holmes, hey, you're gonna have to go to the top bunk. And Andy already had the bottom bunk. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I ain't no punk. He's like, hey, fool, like I said, you know who I am? Fucking, this is my yard. And he said, you're gonna move to the top bunk. And Andy's like, just like, not feeling this shit. So then it was yard time, and he's telling us about that. He's telling us that dude's just being really fucked up. And then I guess he suggested that he has to move. Like, you gotta go find you a cell to go to. I'm gonna bring my homeboy over. And Andy's like, hey dog, like, with all due disrespect, I mean, with all due respect, sorry, not disrespect, I mean, and with all due respect, like, I ain't no punk. He's like, if you want the top bunk, I mean, if you want me to take the top bunk and you want the bottom bunk, I'll give you the bottom bunk, bro. I'm going home in a couple weeks, you know? But now you're talking about, like, I gotta move and this and that, and he's like, hey dog, you're not kicking me out myself, fool. Like, that ain't gonna happen. I don't know why you treat me like if I'm some punk or something, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So they had that tension going on, and he was telling me about it. I'm like, man, it's fucked up. It's just like, so fuck it, just, I guess you're kind of in between a rock and a hard place, because part of him, he don't want the smoke, you know what I mean? He's not trying to kick up dust with the Ayavero who's running the yard and shit when he's going home, especially when he's going home in 2 weeks. But at the same time, a man is a man, and our principles are our principles. So, like, you ain't gonna let some dude punk you. I don't care the fuck who you are, you know what I mean? Or what your status is. You ain't gonna punk, ain't no man gonna get punked. Like, not like that, you know what I mean? And so that's like letting a man slap you like a bitch, and you ain't one, you know what I mean? Like, because he's got some authority, fuck all that, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So what happened was, he was stressed out. I said, man, just, I don't know. There's no really words to say except for just fucking take off on that fool. You know what I mean? But like I said, so I guess what happened next, you know, he goes back to his cell. That same day, we heard alarms in the building. But this wasn't like right away. This is like maybe by chow time or count time or whatever, you know what I mean? Later on that day. And but when you hear them, you hear the buildings go off. We were just wondering, like, what could have happened, because there was no movement at the time, which means like everybody's in their cell. So it happened definitely in the cell, whatever it was, and we didn't know where it was coming from. We being me and my cellie and the homies and where I was at, but we just heard, just, you know, my curiosity thing. What the fuck was that? Well, turns out the next day, whatever, there's no more Andy and there's no more Huevo on the yard, and we're like, what the fuck? So we find out what happened. What happened was, he goes back stressed out to his cell, and Huevo's still acting like a fucking butthead, I guess, or egghead. Huevo. Anyways, and I guess an argument took place, and he told him, so what's up? You gonna get that cell move or what? And then Andy said, I told you. He's like, I ain't gonna, I ain't moving, fool. You know what I mean? Like, you got me fucked up. And then Huevo tells him, all right, cool then. You just wrecked, dog. You just wrecked. You fucked up. And he's like, what? And he goes, you wrecked. He goes, watch. Watch when you go back, when you go out to yard, whatever, I'm gonna have someone, you're gonna get hit, fool. He literally told him that, like threatened him. Like, you just fucked up, you wrecked. You're gonna get hit, watch. You shouldn't have, and because you know who I am, it's my yard, all that shit, right? So Andy panicked. And when I guess when Huevo turned around or whatever, I don't know if it's when he turned around. I heard that he like turned or walked to the door. I don't know. But the point is, Andy panicked, and sometimes a scared man can be a dangerous man. Andy ain't no punk. He ain't no punk, but it doesn't mean he wasn't kind of a little intimidated, because the dude was running the yard. He could have wrecked that fool. You know what I mean? And so he stressed out. He panicked, and he fucking took off on Huevo. Boom, 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 boom. Knocked him out unconscious. While he was unconscious, I guess, I don't know if he was worried about Huevo waking up, or I don't know what the fuck, but while he was unconscious, he didn't want him obviously getting up. So he tied him up, and then he started stomping on his head to where the head cracked open, and the brain mass, the jelly or whatever the fuck is in your brain, was leaking out his head. And then he tied him up, I don't know which order, tied him up and slid him under the bunk. Like, what the fuck? And then when he just sat there, like sitting there, thinking the dude is dead, right? Fucking count time came, the seal walked to his door. He said, hey, what, last name, whatever. And he's like, where's your cellie at? And Andy didn't say nothing. He just kind of was like, just sitting there, just kind of like stressed out. And he's like, hey, hello, where's your cellie at? What the fuck is your cellie? And he just like looked at him, and he stood up, and then he crouched over, whatever, and he reached under the bunk, and he fucking slid his ass out. That fool was tied up, unconscious, with brain fucking shit coming out of his head. And that's when they hit the alarm. Now, I got love for the hood that he's from. I don't know the guy enough to wish ill will on him, but I knew Andy enough to say if he was to push to do that, that fool had it coming, man. I'm telling you, because I met him and he was, I got a bad vibe from him too. Like, what the fuck? Like almost like it was too good. He was too good to give me a handshake when I met him, but he did. It was just like one of those little, like you ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. You know what I mean? But anyways, I didn't have the beef with him. I didn't have nothing with him. So, what? Webble didn't die. They say he's a vegetable, though. I don't know if you snap out of that or what, but that's the last thing I heard. And they took Andy to the hole, and I heard that he's all right. Like, they didn't like wreck him for that or nothing. But I heard he picked up a life sentence. That if that's true, if anybody knows anything about this at that time, it's high desert. Shit, make a comment in the comments. And if Andy, if you're watching this, hit me up. But with that, I'm a cut this story short. Like, how long's it been? Well, hey, you guys are welcome. It's one of my short ones. Anyways, salud or saludos to everyone. Have a happy Friday. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Keep it safe. Keep it smart. And, shout out to everybody. And with that, I'm going to find a song. You know how we do it. To throw at the end of this motherfucker. And, anyways, have a good one, guys. And, shit. And you know what to do. Boop, boop, boop. And radio. Tonight is definitely a late night. Dale gas.
En el cielo, 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 si quieres estás ahí. ¿Por qué, por qué, por qué? Todas las tonterías de mi vida. Lo estoy haciendo mal, ahora mismo esta es mi historia. Hoy nací en Indonesia 3, sin papá, solo mamá. Y yo nací y crecí en el Westside, 4 esquinas al oeste de Los Ángeles. Perdóname por mis pecados, mi historia comienza. Odié mi infancia, por eso me convertí en un niño del barrio. Me entraron a la banda a los 15. Westside de LA, y a locos mi barrio, mi escuadrón. Muse mi nombre, nunca he sido un cojo. Lo he mantenido sólido, activo hasta el día de hoy. Chutems, Corcoran, Pelican, Bay creció rápido. Nunca me buscó ser niña. Años antes de ir a la cárcel, la ayuda social. Y los insectos, mamá era droga, agujeros en zapatos y calcetines, cucarachas cayendo de la caja de cereal. Me mudé mucho, me matriculé en 3 escuelas diferentes. O más, mamá tuvo muchos chicos, se casó muchas veces. No era sabidas, perdió a mi hermanita pequeña. Recuerdo el dolor en los ojos de mi hermana, cómo lloraba buscando a su hermano mayor, a mamá. Único que le importaba era drogarse, mentira tras mentira. Le pregunté a Dios la razón, pero no me respondió. El día se convirtió en noche, creciendo solo, siempre listo para luchar. Pasé por más de lo que un niño pequeño debería pasar, siempre tramando nada bueno. Me revisaban la tartera y me robaban casi abuso sexualmente. Cometía delitos, me arrestaban, me castigaba constantemente. Me echaban de la casa, solo tenía 8 años, sin ningún lugar. Empecé a odiar a mi mamá, arrullado en el suelo, con frío junto a la puerta, harto de esta mierda. No voy a ser más una víctima. Señor. Perdóname por mis pecados, las personas a las que lastimé no era inocente. Tuve que hacer lo que tuve que hacer para sobrevivir. No mostrar debilidad, nunca llorar, Señor. Perdóname por mis pecados, las personas a las que lastimé no eran inocentes. Tuve que hacer lo que fuera necesario para sobrevivir. No mostrar debilidad.